As one of New York's oldest major bridges, the Brooklyn Bridge is perhaps the most notable, and serving 100,000 cars, 4,000 cyclists, and 10,000 pedestrians daily, it also remains practical. When the bridge was first opened to travelers, it was widely considered to be the eighth wonder of the world and has towered over the Eastern River for over 130 years. This magnificent structure was faced with many challenges resolved at a hefty price. This is the story of the Brooklyn Bridge. The solution was both obvious and seemingly impossible: the longest bridge the world had ever seen. The man to tackle this challenge was Prussian-born John Augustus Roebling, and the Brooklyn Bridge was far from his only project. In fact, after immigrating to the United States in 1831 at the age of 25, he helped to settle Saxonburg in western Pennsylvania and became employed to work on the statewide canal system. A crucial part of this system was the series of planes used along its lengths to haul barges over abrupt shifts in terrain, offering Roebling priceless insight on superstructures. Roebling was also a significant advocate and pioneer of rope, due to his concerns over heavy reliance on breakable hemp rope and the many resulting safety issues. His new rope, made of wire rather than hemp, was both strong and flexible. This innovation was so successful that he received a patent for his quote-unquote new and improved mode of manufacturing wire rope in 1842. This wasn't his only innovation, but it was key to his first wire cable suspension bridge in 1844, a wooden aqueduct carrying Pennsylvania's central east-west canal across the Allegheny River into downtown Pittsburgh. Another work key to his design progression was the Delaware Aqueduct in 1847, surviving until today as America's oldest suspension bridge. These products helped develop a method of spinning the heavy iron wire cable and anchoring them in more securely, in turn allowing for longer and longer suspension bridges, making the impossible possible, which was exactly what New York and Brooklyn needed at the time. In 1848, Roebling moved to Trenton, New Jersey with his family and established the John A. Roebling Sons Company for the production of twisted wire cable. The company was prolific, with projects ranging from the Niagara River Gorge Bridge in 1855 to Pittsburgh's 6th Street Bridge in 1859 and the Covington-Cincinnati Suspension Bridge in 1856. Each of these bridges was an incredible marvel of innovation and gorgeous design, with the Cincinnati Suspension Bridge being the longest ever built. Roebling single-handedly managed to address many of the most pressing concerns of suspension bridges, such as failing under heavy winds and loads. His combination of confidence, innovation, and success really made him an attractive candidate to build the Brooklyn Bridge. You see, there had long been a push to build a bridge connecting Manhattan and Brooklyn, two of the country's largest cities, with the first proposal being Thomas Pope's Flying Pendant Lever Bridge in 1800. Even as the Brooklyn Bridge was being planned, the idea wasn't dropped until it was discovered that the wooden cantilever bridge was not nearly stable enough to carry such an immense amount of people. Though the Flying Pendant Lever Bridge took a great deal of planning and was incredible, it just couldn't compete with Roebling's work. This project was a very big deal. Although the Brooklyn Bridge was not the first built to cross the gap from Manhattan, that title goes to the King's Bridge constructed in 1693. This project had extremely high stakes. In 1866, the New York Bridge Company was founded, and not long after, Roebling was brought on board as chief engineer. Originally called the Manhattan and Brooklyn Bridge, it was planned to be constructed of steel wire, allowing it to reach new heights, a far more robust, significant, longer bridge than any ever built before it. The design consisted of two tiers to accommodate not only cable cars but vehicles and pedestrian walking space. The project was approved and met with funding from New York State. However, the infamous William M. Tweed, also referred to as Boss, later swore in testimony that he played a large part in the funding after facilitating bribes of up to $65,000. $100,000 to New York's aldermen. According to History.com, he did this to win a backing of $1.5 million for a bond issue. Tweed also became a significant holder of stock in the bridge and a part of the committee that managed the project's finances, before his ultimate arrest anyhow. Another method used to help fund this massive project was by renting out large vaults beneath the anchorages in Manhattan and Brooklyn. Believe it or not, there was space allocated to store wine and champagne, which held steady temperatures year-round. The Manhattan side of the bridge was stunning, with its cellar named the Blue Grotto covered in frescoes depicting European vineyards. While these spaces closed in the 1930s, one inscription was discovered decades later in 1978. Faded but intact, it reads, "Who loveth not wine, women, and song, he remained a fool his whole life long." Allegedly, Congress authorized construction around 1869 after carefully deliberating how to best build the bridge without piers or drawbridges, which were both deemed implausible due to the height of ship masts. Once the plans were laid, it was no secret that the Brooklyn Bridge was going to be the greatest test of engineering. Those on the project openly aspired to place the Brooklyn Bridge amongst accomplishments such as Egypt's Suez Canal or the Transcontinental Railroad. Roebling was extremely confident in his project, even proclaiming that it would not only be the greatest bridge in existence, but that it would be the greatest engineering work of the continent and age.